Oh my goodness, events in the USA. Let's start off with an update on the shooting of this man, Charlie Kirk, who's a big ally of Trump. In fact, I saw a report saying they spoke on the phone every single day for the last 10 years. Isn't that amazing? Images have now been released of the suspect, who's still on the run following Wednesday's killing at a university in Utah. The FBI believe that this man is of so-called college age, and they've offered a $100,000 reward for information leading to an arrest. It's weird that he hasn't been picked up yet. The footage has been released of, just watch carefully here, you see him running after the shooting off the roof of the university building. He's going to jump down and run away. And the thought is here, he found a spot where he could get very quickly to the car park, you see. He left the rifle. Or maybe he has the rifle there and he left it later in a wooded area, but he can get quickly away during the panic in a car possibly. So they've got a lot of stuff. There are claims his ammunition was marked with so-called pro-transgender ideology and anti-fascist ideology. The allegations stem from an internal law enforcement bulletin. Officials have warned that initial reports to authorities could have been misread or misinterpreted. One of the problems here is the FBI has been gutted by Trump because he doesn't like it because of his own legal problems, and he wants it to be just basically an anti-immigration force. So they may not be very good at the moment at doing this, and that means that we still don't have anyone in custody for it. Charlie Kirk previously stated there are only two genders, so he upset the transgender lobby. He said it should be legal to burn a pride flag. And yesterday at a 9/11 anniversary service, Donald Trump called him a giant of his generation and said he would receive the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is the highest US award for a civilian. Let's hear from Trump now.
We have a radical left group of lunatics out there, just absolute lunatics, and we're going to get that problem solved. I'm only concerned for the country. He was an advocate of nonviolence. That's the way I'd like to see people respond.
Just your thoughts on that. This has gone left-right straight away, hasn't it, Yasmin?
It has, and this is the world in which we're now living. For me, killing anybody for their beliefs is appalling and absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. But then, I hear commentators in America saying, oh, violence is not how we do our democracy. Really? We have a history of this. And it is this gun-owning culture where it happens. I really do think they don't want to tackle something. And look, one of their own has now been killed very young with a small child.
I know, it's awful. Do you know what's so awful is that he lived and died online, this guy. His death
I've seen the stuff.
I know, it is awful to see a man shot online. Whether you agree or disagree is totally irrelevant. What do you think, James?
Yeah, in a strange moment of harmony, to see anybody killed for expressing their beliefs, whether you like them or whether you don't, in a civilized society, we have to be able to have proper conversations and discussions. And yes, he covered a range of very toxic issues and difficult issues and took views that many of us, I think, would find difficult to stomach. That having been said, there is no justification for this kind of violence. One of the things, I suppose, which I find difficult to circle in his arguments is that he was arguing for their gun laws and saying, people will get shot because, but he agreed with people having arms.
He almost I think he used the phrase, it's worth it to preserve our right to carry guns. We will have some shootings.
You see, I don't think it's worth it.
Well, listen, you can't find anyone in this country who thinks that America needs the guns. It has more than one gun per person. I'll just show you, by the way, some of the sort of crime scene stuff that we've got now. So we've got a much clearer picture of what happened. So this is very soon before he died. There is Kirk. He's about to say what he tended to do. I mean, he did like to inflame a bit through debate. Students, so he goes on campuses, students very angry, as you can imagine, with him saying what he says about people who are gay or transgender or black or whatever. But anyway, that's by the by. He sits there and you can see these 2 points. That's where he goes. OK, that's where he is seated. And this is where the killer is. And you could see this outline of the killer on the roof. That's the later CCTV shot that we saw prior to the killing. And it's a very long shot. It's a single shot, 130 meters. Suggests the person, apparently using a bolt-action hunting rifle, has got experience as a marksman. There are, by the way, names circulating online about who this person might be. It could have been, we don't know, but it could have been somebody who had asked him a question at a previous event, so they may even be on film. And then you have, after Mr. Kirk is killed, you see, or severely injured, you see the police telling everyone to get back. I mean, it is just horrific. And I suppose it's the right-wing equivalent of the killing of Malcolm X. It's that thing where the person is not...
Martin Luther King.
Yes, if you want to compare Charlie Kirk to Martin Luther King.
No, well, I'm saying that, the good guys, from where I sit, were killed, and we are now getting a situation in America where the gun is more central than it has ever been.
Yeah, well, let's just see. We should, I have reservations playing this next clip because obviously the man is dead, but this is what he had to say about guns.
I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what he's...
I can't square that argument.
No, look, he is what is called a polemicist. He exists to start a debate. You hear that and you say, no, wait a minute. And then we all start doing... And that's kind of... We do a bit of that on this show. We have people with different opinions on. It doesn't mean that it has to get violent. So...
Well, that's the point, which is... and I suppose you can blame, if you like, the gun laws, but as those who would argue in favour of the gun say, well, it's not the gun that does the shooting, it's the person. So,
and there are other countries with similar numbers of guns per person where you do not have shooting sprees.
Canada's one of them.
Yes, I think in Switzerland everyone has a gun, and they don't kill each other like this. And
But you know,
it's America is violent.
But it's also such a part, like he said, a God-given right to have guns. This idea that you can go around. And how many kids have died in schools? How many university students have been gunned down? And there is always this thing that the gun is God. That's
I think
awful.
it's very peculiar.
It's absolutely awful.
Well, one of the question he was asked about when he was shot, it was someone who disagreed with him, saying, how many transgender people have gone on shooting sprees? Because his big thing is trans people tend to shoot up schools and restaurants. And he just said too many. And a second later, he was shot. Now, the answer was about 5 out of 5,000 or whatever in the last year. So the point the questioner was making was you shouldn't be singling out transgender people as being more likely to go on shooting sprees. Now we find this leak saying this bullet had some sort of trans motto on it.
But we've been warned not to preempt anything. I don't think now is the time to start paying attention because social media is crazy.
Yeah, of course, there's crazy stuff online.